the projection. So we are going to talk about one projection called orthographic projection or orthogonal projection. So in the last class, we had seen about the transformations, where we had seen about the parallel projection transformation, where one was a parallel transformation, the other one was a perspective transformation. So two kinds of transformation we had seen. So in this class, now we are going to talk about the orthogonal projections. So what is this orthogonal projection? Means, see, from the image itself, you can see we are getting different views. We are getting different views of an object. So this is the object. So this is the object which we are considering. So we, for that object, we are calculating. You can see the side face how the object looks, from the front face how the object looks. So this is called as a side view. This is used as the front view, and this is known as the plan view. So when you're seeing it from the top, how this it is looking. So all those things you can. So this you can. It is like a, it's like a plan, the house plan and all. So this is how it will be done. So some elevation. So from the side face, you're getting the elevation. So last class we had seen about the transformations, parallel in the transformations. We had seen about the parallel projection and perspective projections. So now we are going to talk about orthogonal projection. So what is this orthogonal projection means? Here the transformation of the object. Here the transformation of the object. So this is the object. So we under interest. So here the transformation of the object on the view plane will be done by the lines that are parallel to the view plane normal vector. So how the parallel lines will be drawn means, here the transformation for the object description will be done on the view plane by drawing the lines or by projecting the lines that are parallel to the view plane normal vector. So we have seen some vector called n, which is the view plane normal vector. This kind of projections we will call it as the orthogonal projection. So what this orthogonal projection will produce means, this kind of orthogonal projection will project the transformation, or it will produce the transformation in which the lines will be, in which the projected lines will be perpendicular to the view plane. You can see that all these dashed lines, they are perpendicular to this view plane. So all these lines are perpendicular to the view plane. So in this image you are going to get three, for one object you are getting the three views. One is the front side view. So this is how the object is looking when you're seeing from the front side. So this is the side view. So this is a side view. So from the side view and the front view, you can get the elevation. You can get the elevation details. So the height of the object, you can get it. And this is the top view. This is the top view. So the top view, it will just, you will not get any details about the elevation and all. Only thing is you'll get the plan view. So that top view, we'll call it as the plan view. Front and the side view, you can call it as the elevation. So here, for an object we can have the front view, side view, the rear view also, which we can call it as the projection. So when you're seeing the object from the front side, right side, left side, and from the back side, how the object looks. So these kind of elevations, you can call it as projections, you can call it as elevation. And from the top, when you're looking the projection, so that is called as a plan view. So where it is used? So it is used in the house plan. So it is used in the architectural drawings. It is used in the engineering drawing. So this is one kind of thing. So here, this is regarding the orthogonal projection. So in orthogonal projection itself, we have certain variations. So that we will call it as axonometric and isometric orthogonal projection. So what is this? So um, see, it's an ortho. See, axonometric and isometric orthogonal projections are one form of orthogonal projection where it will display more than one face of an object. So where it will display more than one face of an object. So here you can see. See, you can see that the objects. So this is one face, one face, one face. So it's a form of, see, axonometric and isometric orthogonal projection are a form of orthogonal projection which is displaying more than one face for an object, or more than one face of an object. So these kind of views, you can call it as the axonometric orthogonal projection. So in axonometric orthogonal projection, the most commonly used one is isometric projection, which will be generated by aligning the projection line or by aligning the object so that the planes will intersect each other with the coordinate axis in which the object is used. So this, which we call it as a principal axis, which will have the same distance from the origin. So you can see that, you can see the image which shows an isometric. So this image, this is an example of isometric projection for a cube, where you're obtaining this view, which is isometric projection, by aligning the normal vector, by aligning the view plane normal vector along the diagonal of the cube. So you are aligning the view plane normal vector along the diagonal of the cube. So you are getting the 8 positions. You are getting the 8 positions. Um, so you are getting the 8 positions for this cube. You can check it out. So one octant is one position is not visible. So you can see that 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash, 4 dash, sub 5 dash is not visible because it's a cube. 6 dash, 7 dash, 8 dash. So all this 8 positions are like, each positions are in one octant, which can be used for generating the isometric projection, so that the relative positions between the points are maintained. So this is one thing. So in order to do this, so in order to do this, um, how we can generate this? How we can generate this orthogonal project, isometric orthogonal projection? So for this, what we will do means, see, when we want to generate this kind of projections, where one thing is, we'll assume that the projection direction will be parallel to the z-axis. So one thing is, projection direction will be parallel to the z-axis. So that is the one thing we will consider. So when we consider this change, the projection transformations will be like, it will be left out with x and y. So xp will be x. So the value will be assigned x projection coordinate, and yp will be equal to y. So when the projection direction, so what we will do means, with the projection direction being parallel to the z view axis or z axis, the transformation equation for this orthogonal projection coordinates will be transformed like the 2D one, So for any position, for any positions like x comma y comma z, for any point which is represented by x comma y comma z, you can see here a point which is represented by x y z in the viewing coordinate. So this will be, for this the projection transformation will be like, so z it is parallel, so that will not come into account. And this x and y, we are left out with only x and y. So the transformation values will be like, or the projection coordinates will be like xp. X will get the xp, and yp will be equal to y. So these are the projection thing. And z coordinate value, we have z coordinate value. So that value, or z value, which will be preserved for projection transformation, um, for for using it in the visibility determination procedure. So for checking the visible surface or visibility determination, so this z value will be used. So each point which is represented in the three-dimensional coordinate system in the scene will be converted to a position in the normalized space. So this is the orthogonal projection coordinate. So what is this orthogonal projection coordinate means? So here the projection direction will be parallel to the z view axis. The transformation will become in terms of x and y. So for any point which is represented by x, y, z in the viewing coordinate, the projection transformations will be like xp is equal to x and yp is equal to y. And regarding the z coordinate value for any projection transformation, so that will be preserved for using Gitten visibility determination procedure. So visibility determination procedure. So this is how the orthogonal projection coordinates are obtained. So this is regarding the orthogonal projection coordinates. So after this, So what we have learned till now? So till now we have learned about the orthogonal projection. One is orthogonal projection. So where we are getting the different views of an object, front view, side view, rear view, where the lines are parallel to the normal vector n. So side faces, front faces will give you the elevation. Will give you the elevation. Elevation in the sense height. And the top faces just it will give you the plan. So where it will be used? It will be used in engineering drawing. And also we have next thing is we have orthogonal, axonometric, and isometric projection. So it's a form of orthogonal projection where more than one face of the object will be displayed. So those kind of thing we'll call it as axonometric orthogonal projection. So in that the most commonly used one is uh, isometric orthogonal projection. The figure below given below, it is giving you the example of that thing. Um, so this is one thing. So how to generate the coordinates for this? How to generate the coordinates for this? So we'll here the projection direction will be parallel to the z view axis. So then we are left out with only 2 points, x and y. A point which is represented with x comma y comma z, we are left out with x and y. So the xp will be equal to x and yp will be equal to y. For z will be used for determining, or it will be used for visibility determination process. So this is regarding the coordinate thing. So after this, the clipping window. So clipping window and the um orthogonal projection view volume. So clipping window, you know that for 2D also it will be like it will be a rectangular clipping window. So this will be minimum value. So this will be minimum value. So this will be like x minimum, y minimum. So this will be maximum one, x maximum, y maximum. So this is how it is designed for 2D. So right side means the value of x will increase. So this will be x maximum, y minimum. So this will be the coordinate values for a clipping window. So this will be like x will be minimum only, x minimum, y maximum, the four end points of the clipping window. Usually will be using it like 00, 500, 500 in the program. So that is the window is starting at 0 comma 0. The window will be starting at 0 comma 0, and the maximum position is 500 comma 500, like this. So this one example. So like this you will be using. So now how the clipping window is being how the clipping window is being implemented in case of orthogonal projection. So first thing is, since it is considered with respect to viewing, when you take an example of a camera, the type of the lens is one kind of factor which will decide how much of scene will be captured. So for cameras which are having wide angle, uh, it will take a broader frame. It will take a broader frame compared to the regular lenses. So in camera also, in the mobile phones also, you'll have some features like wide angle camera feature will be there, where you can capture an image of an object, or the frame will be much bigger when compared with the regular lenses. so so we are talking with respect to the camera example. So in camera thing, the type of the lens will decide the frame, that it will decide the frame where how much of scene will be captured on the film. So the same way, the wide angle lenses will have more frame size when compared with the regular lens. So for computer graphic applications, we are using this clipping window. For computer graphics application, we'll be using this clipping window. So clipping window, um, you know that um, clipping window will be specified with, or it will be placed in specific locations in graphical package by using in computer graphics. The clipping windows will be placed in specific locations. So how do we set? So this is for 2D. So this is for the one which I've written is for 2D clipping window. So how do we set this clipping window for 3D viewing also? So um, see here also what we will do means just like how we have set the clipping window for the 2D viewing, the same thing will be done for 3D viewing also. So in OpenGL, so we'll set up the clipping window for the three-dimensional viewing, just like we have done the viewing for 2D viewing. So how means by choosing the 2D coordinates only. By choosing the 2D coordinates only, by choosing the 2D coordinates, you can see in the image. So by choosing the 2D coordinates, where the first one corresponds to the minimum value, and this corresponds to the maximum value. So the x minimum, y minimum, x maximum, y maximum. So what we will do means by choosing the coordinate positions for the lower left side of the screen, by choosing the coordinate positions for the lower left side of the screen. So this is the coordinate position for my lower left side of the screen. So for example, I want the lower left side clipping window to be at the position 50 comma 50, and I want my upper clipping window at the position 500 comma 500. So this is my clipping window. So this will be my clipping window. So this will be 50 comma not 50 comma 500 comma 50. So this will be 500 comma 50, and this will be 50 comma 500, like this. So the same principle. So just like the 2D thing, we will choose the coordinate positions for the lower left corner of the screen and the upper right corner of the clipping window. So so here, um, in 3D cases, in 3D clipping window, the window will be positioned on the view plane. So the window will be positioned on the view plane. You can see here. So uh, so this is the view plane. So this is the view plane. So the clipping window is positioned on the view plane where um, the edges are parallel to the x-axis and y-axis. So you can see these edges. This is parallel to x-axis. This is parallel to x-axis, and this is parallel to y-axis. So what we are doing means, um, one thing is we are placing the clipping window on the view plane where the edges are parallel to x-axis and y-axis. So the edges of this clipping window will specify the limit for x value and y value for that scene which we want to display. Meaning, so what this limits will give us means it will give us the um, boundary. It will give us to form the boundary. That is like it will be used to form the top, bottom, and left and right side of the clipping region. So this x and y value can be used to get the boundary of the clipping region. So which we will call it as the orthogonal projection view volume. So this will give us the boundary. So this will give us the boundary. So this edges of this clipping window, they're giving us the limit of x and y value for that part of the scene which we want to display. So these limits are used to specify the top, bottom, left side and right side of the clipping region. So that region we will call it as orthogonal projection view volume. So these four boundaries are the planes which will be perpendicular to the view plane, and also it will pass through the edges of the clipping window. So that is the thing. So that is one thing. Um, so this is how the clipping window. This is how the clipping window will be formed. So here xw min and yw min will give the minimum coordinate position. So the minimum coordinate position, and xw max and yw max will give you the maximum coordinate position. So maximum coordinate position, and also um, You can see the next image. So this is the side view. So this is the side view. So the first image shows the side view of the clipping window. This is a side view of the clipping window, and this is the top view of the clipping window. The second image will give you the top view of the clipping window. So the first image is giving you the side view of the clipping window, and the second image is giving you about the top view of the clipping window. So any doubts here? Any doubts here regarding the topics which we have discussed so far? Any doubts? Any doubts? Okay. Uh, this is okay. This is also done. Okay. Any doubts? So why the strength is so less today? Only 13 students are there. So what happened to the others? Okay, we'll just proceed with the next topic then. Um, so in orthogonal projection view, you know how the clipping window will be formed, how the clipping window will be formed. So now this is the one which we got the side view and the clipping windows top view. So now little variation to this. Now you can see that uh, you can here you can see the side view. You can see the side view here. So this is the Z view. So Z view direction. So when you're seeing it from the top view, so this will be your Z view axis. So now you can limit you can limit the extent of this orthogonal projection view volume in the Z view direction. So you can limit the extent of this orthogonal so you can limit the extent of this orthogonal projection view volume in the Z view direction. So this is a Z view direction. So this is a Z view direction, meaning so this will be the Z view direction. So how you can do that means by selecting the positions for one or two additional boundary planes which are parallel to the view plane. So you can limit the extent of orthogonal projection view volume in the Z view direction by selecting the positions for one or two additional boundary planes that are parallel to the view plane. So these two planes are called as far plane, clipping plane, and near plane, clipping plane. So these things. So you can limit the extent for the orthogonal view volume in the Z direction by selecting one or two additional boundary planes which are parallel to the view planes. So these planes are called as near far clipping plane and front back clipping plane. So like this you can use them. Um, the near and far clipping plane will allow us to use the objects, or it will allow us to exclude objects that are in front of or behind the parts of the cylinder. So the near and far clipping plane will exclude the objects that are in front of the object or that are behind the part of the scene that we want to display with. So here the viewing direction will be along the negative z axis. Here the viewing direction will be along the negative z axis, and also we will have um, z near, which will be greater than z far, so that the far plane will be it will be very far away along the negative z axis. So this support is provided by the graphic libraries, which will provide these two planes as the options, and also you need other libraries which require them. So when the near and the far planes are specified, you can obtain the infinite orthogonal view volume, which will be a rectangular, which will be in the rectangular parallel piped one. So that you can check it. So that you can check it. So that you can check it in the image which is shown here. So this image corresponds to that. So what is that? So here you can limit here you can limit the extent of orthogonal view volume in the Z view direction by selecting one or two more additional planes or the boundary planes which are parallel to the view plane. So these planes are called as near far clipping plane, near far clipping plane. So near far clipping plane, or the other one is um, see, you can call it as a near far clipping plane or front back clipping plane. So here near far means, so this is the near one. So this is the near one. So this is the far one. So near far, one name, or front back. So this is the front side and this is the back side. So the front back clipping plane. So what this near far and what this near and far planes will help. So the near and far clipping plane will allows to exclude objects which are front of the scene or which are behind the part of the scene. So here we know that the viewing is along the negative z axis. So z near will be greater than z far. So that so if so we have this z near which is greater than the z far. Um, Means see somewhere here. So this is z near. So this is z near. So this is z far. So z near will be greater than z far, so that the far plane will be very far away along the negative z axis. So all the support is provided by the graphic libraries with these two planes as options. And also you can see from the image, from this image. um, so uh, one our view of the scene, see, our view of the scene will contain only those objects which are within this view volume. So within this view volume, our view of the object will contain only those scenes. See, our only those objects which are within the view volume with all the parts of the scene, with all the parts of the scene which are outside the view volume will be eliminated. So our we will only see the objects which are within the view volume. So anything which is beyond the view volume will be eliminated by this methodology, by this method. So um, so for the graphic packages, they provide this kind of flexibility. So the graphic packages provide this kind of flexibility in the positioning of this uh, view plane. So this thing, so the graphic packages will provide the flexibility in placing the position of this far plane and near clipping plane, with the options for specifying, like with also the additional options like specifying the additional clipping planes at other positions. So this is how the flexibility is done. So in general, these planes can be at any position with respect to each other to get the various achieving effects. So this is regarding um, the clipping window and the orthogonal projection view volume. So this one thing is the flexibility is provided in the positioning of these two planes, and also in general these planes can be at any positions. It can be at any positions for achieving the various viewing effects. um, that's all. So this is regarding the orthogonal projection volume. So the next one is the normalization. The next one is the normalization for this orthogonal projection. So next one will be the normalization for this orthogonal projection. Um, See, normalization in the sense. So you can check it out here. So the normalization in the sense, the range will be from -1 to 1. So here it is from x minimum, y minimum, z near. So it is x minimum, y minimum, and z near. So x minimum, y minimum. So here it will be x max, y max, z far. So that will be normalized. So that will be transformed in terms of -1 coordinates and +1 coordinates. That is the range. So what is this normalization? So um, so we have, you know that you know that when when we have this orthogonal coordinate positions on the view plane, so the projected point was represented by x, y, z. So that was simply, so we just assumed the z as the z view was parallel to the axis. So we will get the representation of xyz. The xyz was simply represented as xy. So using this orthogonal transfer of this coordinate position system on the view plane, so we obtained a position which was represented by xyz as xy. So once this is done, we know the limit. So once this is done, so we have got the limits for the view volume inside the rectangular window, which are the projection coordinates. And these coordinates can be mapped into the normalized view volume without making any projection. So the normalized view volume, whenever you are performing the normalization transformation, so the coordinates will range from -1 to +1. So the graphic packages. So the graphic packages in when we are talking about the cube also. So we are working on the lab program cube. No, so there also you can check for displaying the cube. We are using the value of the coordinates, which are represented in terms of -1 to +1 only. So the graphic packages, why? Because the graphic packages use a unit cube for the normalized view volume. So with each of this x, y, and z coordinates, which will be normalized in the range of -1 to +1. See, either you can use it from 0 to 1, or if you want to get the symmetric cube, so it will produce a unit cube for the normalized view in the range of 0 to 1. So if you want a symmetric cube, if you want to use a symmetric cube, means the coordinates will be in the range of -1 to +1. So uh, why this is done? So why this is done? So um, you can see the image. So in this image, the screen coordinates are often specified in the left hand reference system. So the screen coordinates are often specified in the left hand reference system. So the normalized coordinates will also be specified in the left hand coordinate system only. So why? Because this will allow the positive values or the positive distances in the viewing direction to be directly interpreted as the distance from the screen, So if it is +5, means it is a 5 + 5 units away from the screen, so like that. So using this, you can convert the projected coordinates into positions in the left hand normalized coordinate reference frame, and this frame will be transformed into the screen coordinates by the viewpoint transformations or the viewport transformations. um, so you can see this you can see this image. So this is the display window. So this is the display window, and this is the screen along x-axis, which is given by x screen, and this is the screen along y-axis, which is given by y screen. So after that, see, for this image, so x screen, y screen. So this one line you can see, that is z screen. So that is z screen, and this is the viewport. That is the viewport. So what you are doing is, um, see, we are following the left hand reference frame because this allows the positive distance in the viewing direction to be directly interpreted as the distance from the screen. So using this method, you can convert the coordinates into positions. You can convert the coordinates into positions, and this coordinate positions will be further transformed into the screen positions or the screen coordinates by using the viewport transformations, by using the viewport transformations. So the further example can be like, you can check this. You can check this. So here, um, so here, um, here the Z thing is interpreted as Z near. This is Z near and Z far. So Z near and Z far. So that once the transformation is done, you can see it is from -1 to +1. So this is how the transformation. So this is how the transformation is taking place. Um, so here what we are doing is, here the orthogonal projection view volume. Here the orthogonal projection view volume is mapped into the symmetric normalization cube. So it was not the symmetric normalization cube, means the value would have been from 0 to 1. Since it is a symmetric normalization cube, we are using the values from -1 to +1. So here in this image, what it is illustrating is, it is showing the orthogonal projection view, which is being mapped into the. So this is orthogonal projection. I'll just erase this. So this is the orthogonal projection view. So this is the orthogonal projection view volume. So that is mapped into the normalized view by using symmetric cube, by using symmetric cube. So what we are using is, we are using the left-hand reference system. We are using the left-hand reference frame. Reference frame. So the Z coordinate position is from Z near to Z far in orthogonal projection view plane. So which is represented. So near plane is represented. So near plane. So you have seen this, no? So this is the near plane. So this is the near plane, and this is the far plane. So this is the far plane. So now here, this is your near plane. So this is the near plane, and this is the far plane. So the near plane is represented by Z near, and far plane is represented by Z far. So after normal transformation, I mean after normalization, this x minimum, y minimum, and Z near. So this is transformed into -1, -1, -1, the normalized position, and this one, x maximum, y maximum, and Z far, they are transformed into 1, 1, 1. So they are transformed into 1, 1, 1. So this is how the transformation is being done. So this is how the transformation is being done. So you can see the transformation matrix. You can see the transformation matrix. This is the normalization transformation for the orthogonal view volume. So this is the transformation matrix for the orthogonal view volume, which is given by m ortho normal is equal to this value. So 2 divided by x w maximum. So that is the difference between the maximum window and the minimum window along the x parameter. So similarly for y axis, and for the z, you can see, it is a difference between, the near and the far one, So this is the transformation. So this matrix can be used to obtain that. So this is regarding the orthogonal projection view volume. So this um, okay. So this matrix you should know this. So you should know the values of this matrix. So this we will call it as the norm the transformation matrix. This you can call it as a transformation matrix. The transformation matrix for the orthogonal view volume. Orthogonal view volume. Okay. So this is regarding the projection transformation. So any doubts here? Any doubts? So next we will be, so this is regarding the orthogonal projection. So next we'll be talking about the perspective projection. So the next concept will be regarding the perspective projection, which I'll do it in the next class. So any doubts here? Any doubts? Okay. So if any doubt is there, you just let me know. See, regarding the attendance, it will be monitored